Welcome to the show.
Nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you. And first of all, I have to apologize for mispronouncing your name on the air for the past several years.
Okay, how did you say my name?
Well, I said Emilie Simon.
Well, in French you say Emilie Simon.
Emilie Simon. See, I Americanized it. That's what I did.
Yeah, but I noticed it's pretty, in French it's a name easy to say, but here it's like I have different things, like Simone, like Nina Simone.
Sure.
Or Simon, like Paul Simon, but my name is Simon.
Simon, okay.
So it's no E at the end.
Right.
And it's like Simon, but it's just that the way of saying it in French is Simon.
All right. Well, as long as we've cleared that up, tell us about your new album, The Big Machine, because one gets the feeling that living in New York City now has influenced your songwriting on this album.
Yes, it has been the main influence actually on the album was the city. I moved to New York 3 years ago, and I guess The Big Machine, I started working on it and writing some songs before I moved to New York, probably when I was touring for my previous album. So I was touring different countries, and I started working and writing those songs. But it's definitely in New York City that I really gave birth to the album. The artistic directions, the choices of production, the energy, and the musicians I worked with are a lot live in New York City, and I met a lot of them when I moved here.
I see. How would you compare living in New York City? You had previously lived in France all of your life, hadn't you?
Yeah. I was born in the south of France, and I moved to Paris when I was 20, and I spent some years there, and then I moved to New York. So yeah, New York is the first time I left my country, yeah.
Is New York more hectic?
Maybe a little bit more crazy, I don't know. They're very different cities. They're very creative, but I guess New York is maybe more extroverted, is it correct to say that? I mean, that's just, very personal point of view, and I guess it depends, what you're doing. Of course, New York is such a big city and does have different faces too, and depending what you're looking for when you move to a new city like that. I love Paris. Paris has been very, very good city for me, and I studied in Paris, and I recorded and released my first albums there, my 3 first albums, and moving to New York was more like an adventure for me, like also discovering, discovering a little bit the world, and also people and a different culture, and also learning more things about myself. That has been a very interesting experience.
I would think, though, growing up in the south of France, like most everybody, you listen to songs on the radio and bought CDs. What were you listening to? Was it a combination of European artists and American artists?
Yeah, I don't know exactly. I think it was definitely a combination. I grew up listening to a lot of American artists, actually, or British artists. But, I mean, the English language in the songs were very familiar to me because I grew up listening to people singing in English. And so I guess that's also why I use so much English in my work. It's a language very associated with melody.
Right.
Me. And French too, but I grew up with a lot of English singers at home.
So what attracted you to electronic music? Because there are a lot of elements of electronica in your music.
Well, I guess it's strange. Electronic music, I started digging into it for different reasons, and I think it's a combination of a lot of things. First, it was the music of independence for me, because that way, you just need a laptop, a computer, and a few software, and you can be very creative. That's how I looked at it when I started. Was okay. I don't need to ask people to come in the studio. You know, that's like big production, making an album. Of course, now I do, of course, go to the studio and work with musicians, and I love it. But I think at the very beginning, that was a way to express my sensitivity and to express my moods and to create atmosphere using just a laptop and a mic and creating my own world like this. I think that's also, that's something very very intimate, because you can spend a long time on it if you want. If you want to spend 3 weeks on one sound, you can. It's a little bit dangerous to do that, but to become a nerd. But it's true. It's fascinating. You go through this completely crazy world of textures and sounds and so I think that was the main reason. And also I was a student in La Sorbonne in Paris, and I was studying contemporary music too.
Mm-hmm.
Different kind of music, and ancient music, and some more contemporary music. And so I got interested in contemporary music and in the tools the composers were using to create those textures, and in the history of contemporary music and of the recording the sounds and using them for their musical contents, even if when it's sounds that maybe sounds of the street or of the house, different textures, and just considering any sound as a possibility for them to become a musical instrument.
Right.
That was like the first thing. Why? What fascinated me in this electronic music in the large sense of it.
Well, it sounds like. What you're describing, it sounds like you didn't necessarily have a set structure of I'm going to go in and do this type of song or in this style. It sounds very experimental.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
At the beginning, I was writing songs, and basically, I remember one day I went to my studio, and I took a pan. There was a little kitchen next to the studio, and I took a pan and emptied it and sampled it and created a loop and started to layer it and treat it and having fun. And then I put some lyrics on it, and it gave a song called Solène that was a bonus track on my first album, whatever. But the song was coming at this time from the experiment of sounds. Another one was called Il pleut, was a sample of matches.
Right.
The sound of matches and of drops. That was my first album, and then I extended it for my second album called Végétal.
Mm-hmm.
That was a lot about the natural textures. So the idea was to make music and beats out of natural elements like water, wind, everything that was. There was also some the fire. There were some textures like a stone, and that was the whole thing of this album called Végétal.
It's interesting because you mentioned these albums, and of course, here in America, I bought your what was the Flower Book, which turned out to be a compilation, which I didn't know at the time. I thought it was just an album that you had put out.
Yeah. The Flower Book came at the moment where I just released. I think it was just after, at the same moment, Végétal and March of the Penguin.
Mm-hmm.
So that was, I think, that was a choice for my label. They wanted to do an album to introduce my work a little bit larger than just the last album.
Right.
So they asked me if I was okay just doing like an album compilation that was introducing my work here in a larger way than just one album or something like
right.
that.
Well, it worked. I bought it, and then of course I bought the new one too, the big machine, which is out, and everyone should go to your website. Where, by the way, I know you've got Twitter, Facebook. Where is the main place that people should go to find out what you're up to and see videos and that sort of thing?
Well, the main place is my personal website. It's called emiliesimonmusic.com. And this is, so it's like, it gives like information about what's going on, if there is shows coming, but also it features everything that's going on, like if there is a collaboration, if there is like, like a compilation, or if there is also, it's a blog, so I post also music and most of the time art that I like. Pictures, and so that's the best way to see what's going on, is to go to my personal website. Mm-hmm. But of course on Facebook you have also a lot of information. Yeah.
Thank you so much for spending some time chatting with us. And,
you're welcome.
Well, and it's my pleasure. And I'm going to play a couple of songs from your new album. But you know what I want to play? If it's okay with you, you did a cover of Bronski Beat's "Small Town Boy."
Yeah.
As an MP3, which is sort of an unusual song that I don't hear a lot of people cover it, but you do a wonderful version of that song. And
well, thank you.
I'm going to play that, and thanks again so much for coming on, and best of luck. And it sounds like you're about to get hit with a rainstorm or something over there.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I think you're going to get. I think you're going to get thunderstorm. I think, unfortunately.
Thank you for letting me know. I didn't know about that.
All right. Well, you have a nice night.
Thank you. You too. Bye
Okay,
bye.
Bye bye.
You leave in the morning with